from the footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you a 2011 FCS conference preview on the Patriot League. We're going to take a look at this league top to bottom, so let's hit the recruiting trail to see how well these teams recruited this past offseason. Best recruiting class in the Patriot League, I have to go with Colgate. The Raiders did a great job of addressing total team needs. They built a lot of depth, a lot of defensive players, but the headline of this group is linebacker, running back Tyler Butler. This guy was rated high coming out of high school. This guy is a ferocious tackler, a big thumper in the middle, and also can play fullback in the pinch. You see right here taking his carry a long way. This guy's going to be a stud for the Raiders. Some key recruits in the Patriot League. You look at Bucknell getting linebacker Dominic Daniels. What I like most about him is the fact that he can sift through traffic very well and does a great job of diagnosing plays. You look at quarterback Peter Matzel from Fordham, 6'2", 190, a guy that has a powerful arm and moves well on the run and throws accurately off play action. You look at wide receiver Kevin McCarry, best hands coming in this freshman class, a guy that may see some time as a true freshman. Crusader fans should be ecstatic getting a guy like Max Phelps is going to help bolster that defensive pass rush. This guy is a monster coming off the edge. Quite possibly one of the best quarterback prospects in all of FCS. Kyle Orzansky should be a star for the Lafayette Leopards. What stands out most about Jason Suggs is his ability to catch the football out of the backfield and line up as a wide receiver. Tremendous versatility. Here are some Patriot League superlatives. We're going to start with the best quarterbacks in the Patriot League. I'm going with Lafayette. The Leopards have three solid quarterbacks. You see right here Ryan O'Neal, but backup Andrew Shoup and true freshman Kyle Orzansky leaves the Leopards in great shape for years to come. This group of running backs, you have to go with Colgate's talented duo of Nate Eakins. This guy's the best player in the conference pretty much, and you also look at the backup Noah Jackson. So these guys have a lot of talent in that backfield, and there's a reason why a lot of people like Colgate to come out the Patriot League. Who has the best wide receiving core in the Patriot League? I'm going to say Lehigh. They have two talented wideouts in Ryan Spadola and also Jake Drawl. These guys catch a lot of passes, big playmakers, both average over 12 yards a reception. Best offensive line, I'm going with Colgate. Anytime you have the best running game in the conference, that means your offensive line is doing a great job, and these guys are very experienced, and there's a lot of depth and talent on their roster. Best defensive line, I'm going with Lehigh. These guys have a lot of talent in that front four. You look at guys like Andrew Knapp and Ben Flazak. These guys made all conference last year, and they do a great job of stuffing them and also do a great job of getting pressure on a quarterback. Best linebacking core, let's hang out in Bethlehem again. The Lehigh Mountain Hawks have the best two linebackers in Mike Groom and also Colin Newton. These guys are ferocious tacklers. Tanner Rebars is another guy. Combined have over 300 tackles. Secondary in the Patriot League, you look at Georgetown. This guy right here, Jaya Kasamba, 6 interceptions. Jerry Moore is a guy that gets his hands on a lot of balls. And safety David Quintero is another ferocious tackler in the back half of that defense. Very solid secondary. Best special teams unit, I'm going with Georgetown. They have the best returner in Jeremy Moore, but also kicker Brett Weiss. This guy has a very accurate lane and is a real threat once you cross the 50. Offensive MVP, I'm going with Ryan O'Neal of Lafayette. This guy had 66% of his passes completed, 15 touchdowns, but what stands out is his command of that offense, and is the reason why the Leopards are favorite in this conference. Defensive MVP, I'm going with Andrew Shasky out of Georgetown. This guy had 9 sacks, 6 TFLs, and 2 interceptions. You put that on the defensive line, and you got yourself a constant threat every down at that position. Best pro prospect, I'm going with running back Nate Eakins. You know he's going to get hit with that stereotype that he can't do it, but this guy is an outstanding running back. Burst through the hole and the power to run through arm tackles. This guy is a legitimate pro prospect. Freshman of the year in the Patriot League, I'm going with that dual threat linebacker running back Tyler Butler. This guy may see a lot of time as a true freshman. He's going to help bolster that linebacking core for the Raiders. Team on the rise in the Patriot League, I'm going with Georgetown. I actually like the direction that head coach Kevin Kelly has these guys going. Last year was sort of a breakout year before injuries decimated them. They were in every ball game, so there's a lot to like about Georgetown. They return a lot of key players, a lot of starters, so look for this team to take the next step toward respectability. Toughest schedule, I'm going with the Bucknell Bison. You look at the last 4 road games at Harvard, Lafayette, Fordham, and Colgate. All teams are considered contenders in their respective leagues. That's a tough slate for a team that's rebuilding like Bucknell. Prediction time for the Patriot League, starting with Fordham. Fordham is not eligible to win the title, so we're just going to give an outlook on how they're going to do this season. Reasons for optimism: you have to love the run game and a young, improving quarterback in Blake Wayne, and linebacker Michael Martin is a very good player. Causes for concern: they lack playmakers at the receiver spot, and they lost a lot of key players defensively. But what we will learn is that Fordham still has enough talent to cause some ruckus in the Patriot League. At number 6, I have the Bucknell Bison. Reasons for optimism: you have to like 16 returning starters off a very young team. They're only going to get better and grow with each other. Causes for concern: the offensive line. They gave up 38 sacks last season. Can they get better? And the schedule is very tough. It's tough for a team to build confidence when you're playing all your tough opponents on the road. But what we will learn is that this year will be the foundation for a springboard campaign in 2012. Next is the Georgetown Hoyas. Reasons for optimism: you have to love a defense that can create turnovers and get to the quarterback, and you have to love the depth at the receiver position, and they have 2 quarterbacks that can get the job done. Causes for concern: who's going to play running back? They have to find a bell cow at that position. But what we will learn is that Georgetown is proven to win on the road and will pull off a huge upset this season. Next up is the Holy Cross Crusaders. Reasons for optimism: one can argue that they have the best linebackers in the conference. I love their linebackers. These guys, Ricky Otis and C.J. Martin, are outstanding tacklers, and you have to love the well-balanced offensive attack. Causes for concern: they can struggle on both sides of the line of scrimmage. O-line and D-line are a question mark, but what we will learn is that Holy Cross has the schedule to make a run toward the conference title. At number 3, I have the Colgate Raiders. Reason for optimism: Nate Eakus in that ground game. He may get 2,000 yards this season. And you also have to love linebacker Chris DeMassa. The guy's all over the football field. Causes for concern: the secondary. They lost a lot of key players in that secondary, and the defensive line took a hit. A lot of their pass rushers are gone, and they have to find a big play maker at the wide receiver spot. But what we will learn, as long as Eakus is in the backfield, Colgate has a chance. And he also may get to be the Peyton Award winner this season. At number 2, I have Lafayette. Reasons for optimism: you have to love quarterback Ryan O'Neal in that passing game. There's a lot of depth at wide receiver position, especially with wide receiver Kyle Hayes. This guy's a tremendous playmaker. And you also have to like the defense. 8 starters return off a unit that's going to improve. Causes for concern is that defense. Have they really grasped that 4-3 defense? They were a 3-4 defense the year before. But what we'll learn is that Lafayette has enough overall talent to challenge for the conference title. At number 1, I have the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. Reasons for optimism: defensively, they're very solid in that front 7, so they're going to cause a lot of problems for opposing offenses. Causes for concern is the defensive secondary. Can they stop the pass this year? They lost a lot of key players in that aspect. But what we will learn offensively, they're going to be just as solid as they were last year, especially on the offensive line, and Lehigh will win the Patriot League outright. For more FCS conference previews, visit footballgameplan.com/FCS or visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan. And listen to the Football Game Plan radio show, which airs Saturdays 11 a.m. Eastern Time at blogtalkradio.com/footballgameplan.